So, Nvidia. They've built this massive trillion-dollar empire, all thanks to the AI revolution. But, in the world of high-stakes tech, no kingdom is ever totally safe. The real question is, can anything actually stop them? Let's dig in and find out.
Okay, so our story really kicks off with this little piece of news from back on December 9th, 2023. And at first glance, it seems pretty simple, right? A company gets the green light to sell a product. But this isn't just any product. And China, that's not just any market. This one decision, believe it or not, sent absolute shockwaves through the entire global tech scene.
And yeah, it's a totally fair question. I mean, why is one single chip deal making headlines all over the world? We're talking about a 2-year-old chip here, not even their latest and greatest. So how did this one thing blow up into a front-page geopolitical event? Well, to really get it, we've got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
And that bigger picture, well, it throws us right into the middle of some serious geopolitics. This isn't just a business deal, not at all. Think of it more like a calculated move on a massive global chessboard. You've got the US and China as the two main players, and the prize they're fighting for? The future of AI itself.
So for Nvidia, the implications here are just huge. It really boils down to two things, money and access. See, they've been pretty much cut off from China because of some really strict US restrictions. This approval, it's like a key that gives them a crucial foothold back into one of the biggest AI markets on the planet. We're talking billions in potential revenue that was just off the table before.
But that just begs the question, doesn't it? How on earth did Nvidia get so powerful that one deal could cause all these ripples? To answer that, we need to take a step back and really look at how this one company built its empire and pretty much cornered the market on the very engine that powers AI.
All right, so at the very heart of their kingdom is this thing called the GPU, the graphics processing unit. And for decades, its main job was pretty simple: make your video games look amazing, super realistic. But then there was this revolutionary discovery. It turns out the unique way these GPUs process information, well, it just so happens to be the absolute perfect engine for artificial intelligence. And this analogy just makes it all click. Think about it. A standard CPU, the brain in most computers, is like reading a book one single word at a time. A GPU, on the other hand, is like taking a super high-res photo of the entire page all at once. That incredible ability to process massive amounts of data all at the same time, in parallel, that's exactly what these giant AI models need to learn.
So, picture this. For decades, Nvidia is just perfecting this parallel processing tech for gamers. They become the absolute champions of the PC gaming world. And then, about a decade ago, a huge light bulb goes off. Someone realizes that this hardware they've built for gaming, it's the key to unlocking AI. And that one realization just catapulted them from being a favorite among gamers to, well, arguably the most important company on the planet.
But here's the thing, their dominance isn't just about having the fastest hardware. Nope, they've built something that analysts love to call a wide economic moat around their business. It's like this massive defensive wall, and it's so strong that it's almost impossible for competitors to get through. And the crazy part, the bricks that make up that wall, they're made of software. Okay, so their absolute masterstroke is this software platform called CUDA. And you have to understand, basically the entire world of AI development was built on top of CUDA. So all these AI models are tweaked and tuned to run perfectly on it. But here's the kicker. CUDA only runs on one thing: NVIDIA GPUs. So if you want to switch to a competitor, you'd have to rebuild years of work from scratch. It's this incredibly powerful and expensive lock-in effect. And this quote from an analyst really just nails it. It says that even if a competitor built a GPU that was just as good as NVIDIA's, all the code, all the models, all the expertise that's been built up on CUDA, none of it would just transfer over. It's brilliant. NVIDIA didn't just win the hardware race, they literally built the entire racetrack.
So all of this incredible dominance sets the stage for this massive, high-stakes debate that's happening right now on Wall Street. On one side, you've got the bulls, the optimists, who see an absolutely unstoppable force. And on the other, you've got the bears, who are starting to see some cracks in the castle walls. It's a huge disagreement over what a multi-trillion-dollar future is going to look like.
So you've got the best hardware and this amazing software lock-in. That means their future growth is guaranteed, right? Well, it's not quite that simple.
All right, let's look at the bull case first, and it's incredibly strong. First, The market for AI infrastructure is just mind-bogglingly huge. We're talking a potential $3 to $4 trillion a year. Then you have that CUDA software moat, which basically makes them the default choice for anyone serious about AI. And on top of all that, they're not just sitting around, they're expanding into things like networking and other services, basically wrapping their ecosystem even tighter around their customers.
But then you've got the bear case, the other side of the coin. For one, NVIDIA relies really heavily on just a handful of giant customers. Think Google, Amazon, Microsoft. And those same customers have a huge incentive and a ton of money to just build their own chips to save costs. And like we saw at the very beginning, all the geopolitical drama, especially with China, adds this layer of risk that is just impossible to predict. So how do you weigh all that? This massive potential on one side and these really big risks on the other. Let's see what the analysts have to say. What's their verdict on all this?
Okay, so after running all the numbers, the analysts land on a fair value of about $240 a share. Now, when they wrote this, that meant the stock was actually undervalued. On paper, that looks like a great buying opportunity. But there's a really important warning hiding behind that number.
And here is the catch. Right alongside that optimistic price target, they slap a very high uncertainty rating on it. And that creates this weird paradox, right? How can something be a great deal and a huge gamble at the exact same time?
Well, it's because the range of what could happen is just massive. In the end, the biggest risk isn't one single competitor or even a political fight. It's the future pace of AI spending itself. Are companies going to keep pouring trillions into this stuff year after year, or will that spending start to slow down? That's the billion, or rather trillion-dollar question that nobody can answer for sure.
So this all leaves us with one final big question. The chips that power AI, they're quickly becoming one of the most critical resources on the entire planet. Right now, NVIDIA is sitting on the throne of that kingdom, and they're protected by that big, strong moat. But in a world that moves this fast, in a world this competitive, is any throne ever truly safe forever?